Kevin looking, lob to the basket.
Yo, whoop, whoop, yo, there's no ball like college basketball, so let's get the dipping wings together and get the boys and girls over, cause it's about to go down in college basketball town.
This episode of The Needle is brought to you by D1CoachCorner.com, your source for Division I college basketball.
Thank you for tuning in to our 37th episode of The Needle. Again, my name is Jack Williams, owner and operator of D1CoachCorner.com. Your source for college basketball news, rankings, and predictions. D1 Coach Corner is the number one source for college basketball preseason predictions and college basketball coach evaluations. The Needle College Basketball Podcast will bring to you 52 weeks of college basketball talk on topics dealing with Division I college basketball coaches and their teams. In this episode of The Needle, we are going to stay local and discuss our top 10 Arkansas high school players to watch in this 2019-2020 Division I college basketball season. And then we will go over our college basketball season preview and our new coach impact segment of the show, which will highlight coaches who have recently taken over a team and has positively impacted that team as a result of him being there. And if you like our show, go subscribe to our iTunes and YouTube channel. Let us continue to be your number one source for preseason college basketball predictions and college basketball coach evaluations. Now, we are a month away from the tip-off of Division I college basketball, and I think it's time for us to take a break from preseason predictions for now. So, we're going to get into a topic that is kind of fun. This episode is dedicated to my home state of Arkansas. Now, I wasn't born in Arkansas. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, and trust me, I still love my city. But I lived in the city of Little Rock, Arkansas for the last 15 years or so, and it's my home now. That's why I refer to it as my hometown, because that's where my home is. Some people may see it the other way. But anyways, I've been going into gyms all over Arkansas watching kids play basketball because I just love this game, in particular the college basketball game. Now, Arkansas is full of great talent. We normally get about 1 or 2 top 50 recruits per year, about 1 or 2 4 or 5 stars per year, and we normally get about 1 kid per year who is talented enough to get a guaranteed pro contract from the NBA. Now, the latest to go to the NBA was Daniel Gafford, who is now a member of the Chicago Bulls. He wasn't a first-round draft pick, but he's showing signs of being a good steal for the Chicago Bulls. Gafford would probably end up as a primary backup behind Wendell Carter because Cristiano Felicio is looking like he would probably end up a bust for the NBA. Gafford played very well alongside another first-round draft pick, Kobe White. Before him, we had Malik Monk to go to the pros. He was drafted in the first round by the Charlotte Hornets. And then there was Dale Macon. Dale Macon wasn't drafted, but he ended up signing a 2-way contract with the Dallas Mavericks, splitting time between the Mavericks and their G League affiliate, the Texas Legends. Now, a 2-way contract is only offered to undrafted players who a team would like to keep on as a retainer without having to sign him to a full contract. Each NBA team can have up to 2 2-way contracts per season. A player can make some pretty good money signing a 2-way contract. They typically earn about $75,000 while in the G League and about $204,000 during their time in the NBA. And there was Bobby Portis, who was also drafted in the first round. He's doing the best out of all the players who have gone pro from Arkansas in the last 7 to 8 years. He is currently playing for the New York Knicks and earning about $1.3 million per year. In 2018, he was averaging over 14 points a game with the Chicago Bulls and with Washington after being traded. Before him was Archie Goodwin, who was picked 29th in the first round of the 2013 NBA draft. Now, Goodwin didn't do so well in the NBA. He was bounced around like a ping pong. He's currently playing overseas for a team in Turkey. But as you can see, there are very few Arkansas high school players who come out of college from Arkansas and transition into the NBA well. With that said, we're going to look into some players who played high school in Arkansas and who are currently playing ball in Division I college basketball. Who are the top 10 players currently playing in college basketball, and what are their NBA potential? Now, we're going to start from 10 and count our way up to number 1. Keep in mind that we're including all players who played high school ball in Arkansas, not just reside in Arkansas. The reason I'm mentioning this is because some players on this list were not born in Arkansas, but just played high school ball here. Now, the list that I'm going to be presenting to you does not include the 2019 class of the Division I recruits because they haven't played a game yet. But we're going to be looking forward to seeing our 2019 players such as Isaac McBride, who played basketball in Little Rock Baptist in Little Rock. To be honest with you, I never got the opportunity to see him play before, but I heard a lot of good things about him. That just means that I'm going to have to get out more and see a few more high school games soon. McBride will be playing his college ball at Kansas this year. So here we go. Now on our watch list, but not included in the top 10, is Eaton Henderson. Now he's not in our top 10. Eaton is a 6'8" forward who played his high school ball at Parkview High School under the legendary Coach Flanagan. He's currently playing ball at Arkansas for Coach Eric Musselman, but he was recruited by Coach Mike Anderson in 2018. To be honest with you, I wasn't very impressed with this young man's game while in high school. I didn't feel that he dominated the game enough, but had the potential to do so. Rival.com had him rated as a 3-star in his senior year of high school and falling. And I feel that he probably would have done better as a player on a mid-major team than a team in a Major 6 conference. I would like to have seen him play for the University of Little Rock, Arkansas, or either Central Arkansas. The reason that I chose to put Eaton Henderson on the watch list instead of the top 10 is because he's showing potential as becoming a pretty good depth player for Arkansas. In the 2019 postseason, the NIT, he took advantage of Gaffer not playing to show Coach Anderson what he could do. He played 18 minutes, grabbed 5 rebounds, and scored 6 points that game. Now, I don't believe that he's going to be starting in 2019-20 under Coach Muss because that's going to more than likely go to grad transfer Jantel Siller from UNC Wilmington. But I do think that we're going to see Musselman use him more in the 2019-2020 season, even though he'll probably be a third option behind Reggie Chaney, especially since Osabuohien is gone from the team. Now, our honorable mention is Mitchell Smith. He's not in our top 10 as well. Now, Smith played his high school ball at Van Buren High School under Coach Randy Lloyd. He was a 3-star recruit in the 2016 class. Smith has so far spent his entire college career at Missouri. He played in 31 games with Missouri, starting in only 1 and averaging 11.7 minutes per game last season. He averaged 2.5 points and 2.5 rebounds per game as well. Smith will probably continue to come off the bench for Missouri in 2019-20 and will be a key backup power forward. Now to our actual top 10. At number 10 is Gabe Osabuohien. Osabuohien played his high school ball at Southwest Christian Academy in Little Rock, Arkansas, and was part of the 2017 class. Unfortunately, Osabuohien was recently dismissed from Arkansas by Coach Eric Musselman for some unknown reason. Coach Musselman said this before his dismissal: "We have a set of level expectations for our student athletes on and off the court. After discussion with Gabe, it was decided that it would be best to part ways. We thank him for his time at Arkansas and wish him well." Fortunately, Osabuohien was picked up by West Virginia and will probably be granted a waiver to play immediately. We'll see. Osabuohien played in 34 games at Arkansas and started in 8 in his final season. He averaged 3.1 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 1.4 assists per game in his final season at Arkansas. If you ask most people in Arkansas, did they know anything about this guy prior to him playing for the Razorbacks, they would probably tell you no. That's because he isn't originally from Arkansas. He's from Toronto, Canada, but he played his high school ball in Little Rock. According to the Razorbacks webpage, Osabuohien played AAU with Grassroots Canada before joining Team Loaded on the Adidas circuit the last 2 seasons. Watch out for Osabuohien this season at West Virginia if he plays this season. At number 9 is Darius Hall. Darius Hall was part of the 2017 recruit class. He was originally recruited by Mike Anderson to play for the University of Arkansas. While at Arkansas, Hall played in 35 games and started in 5. He had potential to be a starter for Arkansas following the 2018-2019 season, but elected to transfer instead. Hall now plays for DePaul and will be eligible to play this coming season. Hall played for Mills University High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. He led Mills to a 31-2 record and a 5A state championship in his senior season. It's going to be exciting to see what Hall does this season. He may not start, but expect him to have significant playing time at DePaul, who is actually predicted to finish last in the Big East. At number 8 is Payton Willis. Willis attended high school at Fayetteville High School in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Willis was part of the 2016 class with Malik Monk. He was originally recruited by Vanderbilt's former head coach Bryce Drew. Coach Drew was fired after 3 seasons with the team. Now, while at Vanderbilt, Willis played in 31 games and started in 4. He averaged 5.1 points, 1.9 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game in his final season at Vanderbilt. Willis has recently transferred and is now playing for Coach Richard Pitino at Minnesota. We can expect Willis to have a lot of playing time at Minnesota this season. At number 7 is Desi Sills. Desi Sills is part of the 2018 recruiting class and was recruited to Arkansas by the former head coach Mike Anderson. He played his high school ball at Jonesboro High School in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Sills played in 34 games last season with Arkansas and started in 8. Sills probably won't start this season under Coach Eric Musselman, but he will receive some quality minutes next season. Sills averaged 5.3 points, 1.3 rebounds, and 1.7 assists last season. Expect Sills to be a quality support player for Arkansas this coming season. At number 6 is Lawson Korita. Korita is also part of the 2016 class along with Payton Willis. He played his high school ball at Pulaski Academy in Little Rock, Arkansas. He is currently playing ball for Coach Frank Haight at Tulsa. Korita is a frequent starter for Tulsa. That's why he's number 6, because he plays a very important role on this team. Korita played in 31 games last season and started in 25. Tulsa is not picked by experts to be at the top of the American Conference this coming season, but this team should do well. It's almost guaranteed that Korita will be a starter this coming season. Therefore, he is number 6. Korita averaged 5.7 points and 2.8 rebounds per game last season. At number 5 is Exavian Christon. Christon is now in his junior season at Louisiana Tech. He is from Hot Springs, Arkansas, and he attended high school at Hot Springs High. Christon played and started in the first 7 games of the season before missing the last 26 games due to a medical injury. He was leading the team in scoring, averaging 12 points per game last season. If he is 100% this season, he should easily crack the starting lineup for Louisiana Tech. At number 4 is Austin Reave. Reave played his high school ball at Cedar Ridge High School in Newark, Arkansas. Reave is also part of the 2016 class. He was originally recruited by Coach Greg Marshall of Wichita State, but he has recently transferred to Oklahoma to play for Lon Kruger. While at Wichita State, he averaged 8.1 points and 3.1 rebounds per game. Reave is a junior at Oklahoma and is expected to play a critical role in the growth of the Oklahoma Sooners team. By the time it's all said and done, Reave will be a double-digit per game basketball player, I promise you. Now, number 3 is Marquis Eaton. Eaton is currently in his junior year at Arkansas State. He was part of the 2017 class. Eaton is from Helena, Arkansas, and played his high school ball at Jonesboro High. In the 2018-2019 season, Eaton played in all 32 games starting in 27 and averaged 11.2 points, 3.3 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game. Eaton ranked 2nd on the team in scoring, 2nd in assists, 3rd in steals, and 6th in rebounding. Expect Eaton to be a major player on Arkansas State this coming season. Now to the meat. At number 2 is Shawn Williams. Williams is from Little Rock, Arkansas, and played basketball at Maumelle High. In his final season at Maumelle, he averaged 19 points and 3 assists per game. Williams is currently playing for Coach Chris Jans at New Mexico State, a team that has won the WAC's regular season and conference tournament titles for 2 years in a row. Coach Jan was also named the WAC's Coach of the Year in 2018 and 2019. As you can see, he is playing for a great coach. As for Williams, he transferred to New Mexico State from Eastern Carolina. In 2018, Williams was named the American Conference Rookie of the Year, the All-American Rookie of the Year, and the Kyle Macy Freshman All-American. Williams is ranked number 2 because he will play a vital role in this team making it back to the NCAA tournament. He will have immediate eligibility and will almost certainly have a spot in the starting lineup. Now at number 1 is Isaiah Joe. Isaiah Joe is for real and will more than likely be the one out of this bunch to go pro once he's finished playing his college career. Joe is on pace for setting an NCAA record in 3 points made. He has already set several records in his freshman season at Arkansas. According to the Razorbacks.com, Joe set the SEC record for 3-pointers made per game. 3.3 per game. He tied the SEC record for 3-pointers made in the season by a freshman, a total of 113. He is the fourth in NCAA history for 3-pointers made in a season by a freshman. Joe was also the second leading scorer for the Razorbacks, only behind Daniel Gafford, who has already turned pro. The media as a whole has Arkansas ranked to finish around 9th place in the SEC. However, I truly believe that Isaiah Joe is going to flourish in a Musselman system, and I think that Arkansas is going to surprise a lot of people. I really do believe that Arkansas is going to compete heavily for the top of the SEC. And that concludes this portion of the show. And now to our college basketball polls review. It's that time of the year again. 3 more weeks before the season kicks off, and the media polls are coming out. All of the media outlets are giving their opinions on who's going to be the best team in each conference this year. And then there is the vote. Whoever receives the most number 1 votes are number 1. So there's no expert who knows everything. It's just a bunch of people who are fans of the games giving their take on who's going to be the best. Now, I got to admit, normally I'm on point for the number 1 team and the bottom dwellers, but I tend to fall off somewhere towards the middle of the conference. It's very hard to predict the middle of the conference, unless it's the West Coast Conference. That's one of the most predictable conferences in college basketball because it's always Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and then BYU, and then there is everyone else. But let's talk about the American Conference. The media voted Houston as a whole as the best team in the conference this year. But first, let me start off by saying that I was only one of a few that picked Houston last season as the best team in the American. But I don't see that this year. I know that the coaches have a lot to do with their team and success, but a team must also have the personnel to be good. There are some good players on this roster, but none of them have proven yet that they can produce double-digit numbers day in and day out. Now, we know this team is going to be good defensively, but where are the points going to come from? Now I get it. With Memphis, most of the players are new, even though they are high ranking. I get that. And I do agree that freshmen can't win national championships. That's why I'm not expecting Memphis to win a national championship. But I am expecting them to win the American Conference. And if Coach Brian Gregory can get Zach Dawson III to play like he's capable of playing, watch out for South Florida. This team could sneak up and take the crown. I'm also expecting a bounce back from Wichita State. Coach Marshall is not going to allow his team to stay down for long. I think that this Wichita State team is stronger from top to bottom than they were last season. Plus, they have 3 starters returning from last season in Jamie Echenick, Jamarius Burton, and Dexter Dennis. However, Wichita State is also going to have to need some points coming from somewhere. Now turning to the SEC, the consensus frontrunner for the SEC is Kentucky. This team has several pros on it as usual, but they also have some very important returning players on the roster like starting point guard Ashton Hagans, E.J. Montgomery, center Nick Richards, and Emmanuel Quickley. Whenever Kentucky has this many returning players coupled with incoming pros, they are a dangerous team. That's why they are number 1 in the SEC to me. But the 2 teams that I think that everyone are asleep on are Ole Miss and Arkansas. These 2 teams, first of all, have 2 of the most dangerous new coaches in the SEC, Kermit Davis of Ole Miss and Eric Musselman at Arkansas. Coach Davis is in his 2nd season and Coach Musselman is in his 1st season at Arkansas. The X factor for Arkansas is Isaiah Joe. Expect him to be in the running for Player of the Year in the SEC. This guy's going to light it up from the 3-point line, which is going to open up the offense for this team. Arkansas are going to be deadly offensively. Watch what I tell you. And so is Ole Miss. These are the most dangerous offensive teams in the SEC. Don't underestimate them. But I also think that the overall most dangerous team in Division I college basketball for 2019-2020 is Louisville. This team is deep. They have 2 starters from last season, Dwayne Sutton and Jordan Aurora. Both can put up big numbers. And watch out for graduate transfer Lamar Kimball. He can also put up big numbers. Expect this team to improve on both ends of the floor this season. And now on to our new Coach Impact segment of the show. This portion of our show is brought to you by D1CoachCorner.com, your source for Division I college basketball coaches. In this new Coach Impact segment, we'll be discussing coaches who have been head coach of a Division I college basketball team for no more than 5 years and who are on the upward trend towards taking their team to another level. This week's new Coach Impact highlights Coach Chris Mack of Louisville. Coach Mack has led a team to the postseason tournament 9 out of the last 10 seasons he's been head coach of a Division I college basketball team. 4 out of the 10 have been to the Sweet 16 and beyond. Under Coach Chris Mack, Louisville is once again a national contender. This current Louisville team has Sweet 16 and beyond written all over it. Expect Louisville to be competitive this season. That concludes our show for this week. Join us next week at the same time and channel for a new episode. We'll be happy to take your questions and comments on Twitter for our next episode. Our Twitter handle is at D1CoachCorner. That is at D1CoachCorner. See you next week.